Următorul invitat este Madalin Milea, de la T-Mile, expert în WordPress, cu peste un deceniu de experiență și o pasiune pentru dezvoltarea oamenilor. Madalin s-a dedicat ajutorării celorlalți să crească și să prospere în rolurile lor. În prezentarea sa Managing Stress for a Healthier Work Experience, va împărtăși strategii pentru reducerea stresului și promovarea unui mediu de lucru echilibrat. În aplauzele dumneavoastră, Madalin Milea.
Thank you. Good. Hey everyone. How many of you felt stressed at work? Please raise your hand. Okay. Thank you. I'm Madalin Mila, and today we are going to explore how managing stress can lead to a better work experience. Okay. Stress, burnout, overload. These are words we hear every day. However, in this session, we'll focus on how to change that by reclaiming balance and managing pressure. And I want to be upfront. I'm not here with a magic formula to remove stress. Instead, I'll share small actionable points that we can incorporate to manage it better. Now, stress is something I personally battle with, and I'm sure many of you have too. But before we dive into strategies, I'd love to hear from you. What is your biggest source of stress at work? Please take a moment to reflect on that and answer honestly. Each of you. Okay. Thank you. Have you found the rest of us? Have you found your stressor? Yes? Okay, great. Then please turn to your neighbor and share your stressor with him. No, that's good, thank you. All right. So, great. Now that we know what our stress is and from where it's coming, let's zoom out and see what's happening globally. And here, we have some data from the past years. We can see from 2020 to today, the burnout rate increased from 30 to 38%. But even if this year is the same as the last year, we have some changes. The burnout rate increased for women from 38 to 43%, and decreased for men from 32 to 30, 33 to 30. So, now, if we look at the key stressors, here are the main ones. First, overwhelming workload or insufficient resources to manage the task effectively. The second one, limited control over how, when, and where the work is done. Minimal involvement in decision-making process. And the last one, conflicts or unhealthy dynamics with supervisors, managers, coworkers that negatively impact the work environment. To make this real for us today, okay, let's do some exercises. So, if you feel and you think workload is your biggest stressors, please stand up. Okay, you can remain. We still have another two. We will go over to all of them, 3. Okay, if you feel it's the lack of control over your work, please raise your hand. Great. And lately, if workplace relationship is your biggest stressors, then please give me a quick wave. Thank you. Now, burnout is more than a buzzword. It's actually affect productivity and work quality. Employees experiencing burnout perform at lower levels and produce poorer results compared with those without burnout. By prioritizing employees' well-being and address burnout early, organizations can safeguard their main resource, their people. So, how can we... Okay, good. Now let's see what actually stress does to us. Stress can push you to excel, but chronic stress can break you. Stress is not always bad. Actually, that's our body's way of preparing us for challenges. However, chronic stress can damage our health and performance. And here's where the vagus nerve comes in, helping us to return to a state of calm during stress. But when the stress is constant, the nerve ability weakness, which lead to burnout and health issues. Breathing exercise can stimulate it, promoting recovery. You can think of the vagus nerve as your body reset button. With each deep breath, you press that button, calming your mind, steadying your heart, and resetting your stress level. So now, how can we identify the stress levels in our workplace? We can't fix what we can measure. And here's where the focus groups and surveys come in. I've seen how asking the right questions can uncover hidden stressors like feeling overwhelmed or find the root cause of the stress. And I'll come with specific questions you can use in the upcoming few slides. But the idea is to act on data. And don't worry about the questions on taking notes, because I'll share the presentation later on social media. The goal now is to understand the process. Okay, so now, how can we identify the stress? Here are some questions I've used in surveys. And it can really help if you come with some predefined answers for each question. For example, if we look at the second one, they can choose one or multiple between high workload, poor life, work-life experience, or maybe unclear job expectations, etc., you name it. Imagine you received a survey about where you are asked to talk about your workplace stress, but your name is attached. How honest will it be? That's why anonymity is crucial. It encourages people to share their thoughts without fear of repercussions. Good. Now, please imagine the next scenario. You've just run a survey in your team, and the results show high stress level due to the work-life balance. Now what? Actually, here's where the focus group can really help. By gathering the team together and asking simple questions like, what task constantly cause stress for you? It can help you to pinpoint to the root cause and to brainstorm solutions together. If we look at our example with work-life balance, here are some questions you can use. But what I recommend here, like before doing it, when forming teams, try to separate employees from their managers in order to create a more open environment where people feel comfortable sharing honestly. This promotes transparency and honesty. You can enhance more clarity and drive some actionable outcomes in focus groups after using the surveys using a Jamboard with sticky notes. And here you can focus on three main key questions. First question, what can I do to improve and reduce work-related stress? Second, what can my manager do? And the last one, what can my company do? This approach encourages participants to reflect on their own experiences and share practical steps for improvement. And it also comes with valuable feedback for companies, helping to find areas for positive change moving forward. After gathering the data, it's really important to keep the conversation going. And one effective way is through learning peers, which are short engaging sessions that can help maintain the team motivation. In those sessions, you can focus on relevant topics based on your findings from the surveys and focus groups. And for example, if stress is a major issue, I suggest 3 topics you can explore further. The first one is the cycle of influence, a concept from Stephen Covey's book 7 Habits of Effective People. The second one, time thieves. where you can talk about unnoticed time-wasting activities. And the last one, positive versus negative stress. And here you can explore the benefits of positive stress versus the harm of the negative stress. What I recommend in those sessions is to focus on interactive activities over lecture to keep your team engaged. Now, talking about sustainable productivity, when you set boundaries, you protect your time. When you manage your recovery, you protect your energy. When you prioritize balance, you protect your health. It's not just always working fewer hours. It's about working smarter by managing your energy and creating boundaries that allows for a fulfilling life outside of work. So the first step for getting a sustainable productivity is setting boundaries. And here, I recommend 2 points that can help. The first one is clearly separate your work and personal time by sticking with specific working hours and share your schedule with your team in order to create a mutual respect for your personal time. The second one, try to find a daily ritual that tells your brain work's done, such as shutting down your computer, taking a walk, even changing out of your work clothes. This helps you to shift your mindset from work mode to personal mode. The second step is recovery time, which is essential for creativity and decision making. So what can we do here? Happiness is not just about reducing stress, it's also about keeping your mind sharp. So brief mental breaks like 2 minutes breathing exercise can boost creativity and problem-solving skills. And here I personally use 4-7-8 technique that stands from 4 seconds breathe in, 7 seconds hold it, and exhale slowly for 8 seconds. So I propose to see it at work, not for 2 minutes, but we can do it twice. I will keep the counter with my fingers. So let's start. Breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold it for 7. Exhale. Repeat. Thank you. I don't know if it helped you, but for me, it works. All right, so moving forward, plan for longer recovery periods, but also try to incorporate small daily recovery periods, like the breathe exercise we just did. And another one is cold water exposure to activate your vagus nerve. And here it can be a cold shower or even just splashing your face with some cold water. So these quick resets are great for maintaining energy and balance throughout your day. Now, talking about productivity tips. Instead of managing your time, try to manage your energy. Identify when you have high level of energy during the day and schedule the most important task you have in those periods. And here, let me share how this changed my own work, because I used to force myself to tackle the most important things of the day in the morning, thinking that was the most productive time. But I realized my energy peaks in the afternoon. So I shifted my focus heavy work late in the day, and that made for me a huge difference. Tasks that took me hours now feels easier and get done faster just because I align my work with my natural level of energy. Instead of rebuilding your whole routine, which sometimes seems to be or can be overwhelming, try to find small actionable steps, micro habits. And here an example is taking a 5 minutes break from your desk for a brief walk. Imagine you are working on a big project and at some point you hit a wall. Of course, you can push through, but instead you decide to take 5 minutes break and step outside for some fresh air. When you come back, you have new ideas and task feels less overwhelming. Actually, that's the power of micro habits. It can change your mindset in just a few minutes. A study from Stanford University showed that multitasking lowered productivity by 40%. So take one task at a time for better results and schedule breaks to keep yourself sharp. And the last one, to make your productivity fun by using apps or rewards that motivate you to stay engaged throughout your day. For example, I've been using Forest apps some time ago, and each time I resist checking my phone, I was able to see my little tree grow. And that gave me a sense of achievement and motivated me to stay on track. Another example here. A friend of mine is putting €1 to his saving account for each kilometer he does by cycling instead of taking the car. Alongside managing stress, enhancing communication and fostering empathy in any workplace is vital. And I want to share with you 2 strategies I use for that and that are really helpful. First one is building empathy. How to do that? Focus entirely on the speaker without formulating a response on your mind. Demonstrate that you are listening by asking questions for better understand their perspective. Reflect on your own emotions to better understand others. Interact with people from different backgrounds to broaden your perspective. And the last one, rephrase what the speaker said to demonstrate that you are listening and you value their input. And the second strategy is open communication. And here, what you can do is to encourage open dialogue where employees feel comfortable sharing concerns without being judged. This actually builds trust and reduce anxiety. And on top of that, be open and clear about decisions and expectations. When employees understand what's going on, that reduces uncertainty, which is a major stressor, as you saw in the graph from the beginning. And the last one, but not the least, when providing feedback, please use an empathetic approach that considers the other person's feelings. This promotes a better collaboration and understanding. And now let me share a story about feedback. A few years ago, during a meeting, I was asked how to provide feedback without making the person in front of you to feel defensive. And I share a practice I'm still using today. When preparing feedback, I always imagine I deliver it face to face, but even more so in front of their family. This approach helped me to give kind feedback, because when we know someone well, we tend to be too blunt. But when we imagine them with their loved ones, that makes us to refine our message and to choose the words carefully. In this way, I can give feedback without making the person feeling defensive. One open conversation can change a team. One empathetic gesture can save a relationship. One act of listening can transform a work environment. Unfortunately, stress is inevitable, but it's manageable. With the right tools, the right mindset, and the right support, you can thrive and survive. Thank you, everyone. I hope these tips will help you to better manage your stress in your work life. If you have questions or you want to discuss more in depth some topics, I'll be around after the presentation. Or if not, feel free to reach out on social media. Thank you.
Mulțumim frumos, Madalin. Haide, nu un pic, te rog, Madalin, să oferim din partea sponsorului nostru Vinarte. Și
Ready
o
for the
poză
picture or...
cu mine, da.
Yes. Ah, okay.
Cu mine, că nu, eu sunt cel mai fotografiat. Și una singur, Cătă, fă și una singur pentru...
Ah, just one. Thank you. Thank you and have a great day.
Deja s-au creat pattern-uri, nu? Pentru soție, nu? Ok.